All right, everyone. Today is Friday, March 15th, and some, I guess, breaking news. I just saw it in the news feed over at news.bitcoin.com, one of the best places for all your breaking news. And the title here says, Mt. Gox CEO Mark Karpeles found not guilty of embezzlement. I was really surprised to read that. Not because I thought Mark embezzled from Mt. Gox, but because, like, 99.9999% of people accused of a crime in Japan get found guilty.
Yeah, the
like
conviction
even more
rate
than
here
the
is
U.S.
insane. Yeah.
Even more than in the U.S. Yeah. So the news article here says Mark Karpeles, CEO of the now defunct Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox, has been sentenced by the Tokyo District Court. The court convicted him of record tampering, but found him not guilty of embezzlement. He received a suspended jail sentence of 2.5 years. So, wow. I bet Mark's feeling pretty relieved at this point. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think Mt. Gox was a little bit before my time, but you know, it's something that you always hear about. You know, I think we see a lot of concern about it still for some reason, with, like, I guess the you know, the sell-off of what happened to the leftover, you know, Gox coins, and there's been a lot of news about that recently of how that may have played a role in the bear market that we're currently in. But I think, like, I got the feeling that Mark wasn't a bad guy, you know? Everything I've read, it just seems like maybe
incompetent.
Yeah.
And, like, grossly incompetent. Like, I guess a lot of people seem to forget, like, Mt. Gox was hacked. Mt. Gox was hacked means that there are hackers. The fact that there are hackers that stole the money, like, where are the hackers? Let's try and find the people who actually did steal the money from Mt. Gox. Like, yeah, Mark didn't keep the money safe from hackers, which was his job, but there's still hackers out there that hacked Mt. Gox and stole the money. So
one of our coworkers here was telling us a story about how his mom,
his Japanese mother-in-law, I think, right?
was saying, "Is this the new money that you're
so excited
about? It seems kind of a little bit dangerous, this money that you're working in after this whole Mt. Gox affair." And you had a great quote that you replied back saying,
I said if a bank is robbed, you don't blame the money that was in the bank, you blame the bank. And that's what happened with Mt. Gox. So, like, you blame Mt. Gox and the people running it, not Bitcoin itself.
Yeah, so Bitcoin is not flawed. Some businesses can be, some security measures can be, and sometimes just incompetence can also lead to poor management. Yeah,
so he goes on to say, Tokyo-based tech reporter Bloomberg, Yuji Nakamura, actually we know him, he comes to the Bitcoin Cash meetup sometimes. So Yuji says he translated the verdict in a series of tweets. "We're calling it that he's not actually going to prison," he wrote. "In plain English, he's guilty of record tampering, but not guilty of embezzlement. He is suspended for 4 years, during which time, if he does anything bad, he'll be jailed for 2.5 years. So basically, he shouldn't commit any more crimes in the next 4 years, and then he's okay." So
Mark lost a lot of weight. He's looking great.
Mark, when he first got out of prison, was the most handsome Mark he's ever been. Like, when he went into prison, he was this fat roly-poly with, like, Starbucks frappuccinos, and got out and was the most, you know, suave, debonair Frenchman in all of Japan.
Yeah,
so,
post-jail Mark is a good-looking dude.
Yeah, so Tokyo, let's see, what else it says. The 2014 collapse of Karpeles' Mt. Gox exchange involved the loss of approximately 850,000 Bitcoins, 200,000 of which were later found. There's a whole other story on that too. Although victims have yet to see any restitution, despite the court-appointed bankruptcy trustee selling the recovered coins in preparation for disbursement, the recovery process has been put on hold due to a pending $16 billion lawsuit by a former business partner. And this article doesn't go into it in detail, but I think we should a little bit more. So that former business partner is Peter Vicenas, the founder of Coin Lab, one of the companies that I invested in. But, like, the whole background story there is, like, he took $5 million of Mt. Gox customer money that he was supposed to hold for the customers as he was going to open Mt. Gox in the U.S. and help Mt. Gox expand to the U.S. Where's the $5 million of customer money? Like, he never gave it back to the trustee. He doesn't have it, like, as far as I can tell. Now he's suing for another $16 billion for Mt. Gox. So, like, as one of the shareholders of CoinLab, I think Peter should just drop the lawsuit, move on with his life, and work on doing something productive and building productive tools for people to use. Like, let the creditors get back the money that's left. Like, yeah, maybe your deal went south with Mark, but like all the other people actually lost money directly. You just lost like an opportunity cost of being able to, you know, expand Mt. Gox into the U.S. So
now you were in Japan during the whole Mt. Gox,
yeah.
the whole event, right?
Yeah, so I infamously, or maybe famously at this point, made a video for Mark when he asked me that's been used against me for years now on the internet, where they say Roger said Mt. Gox was solvent. I never, ever, ever said Mt. Gox was solvent because I have no idea if they were solvent at that time or not. And so I guess I want to clarify the video. So like at the time I made the video and the time Mt. Gox asked me to make the video, they were only having fiat delays. They were having 0 Bitcoin delays, 0. They were only having fiat delays. And I saw with my own eyes the letter from the bank saying that they were limiting the amount of fiat withdrawals that they could process each day. So everybody on the internet had pitchforks about the fiat delays. So I made a video saying the fiat delays were being caused by the banks. So even with everything we know and the criminal prosecution and this and that, the fiat delays at that time were being caused by the banks. So like everything I said in the video was true. And I certainly made no, you know, indication whatsoever as to whether or not they were solvent. So if you want to push my buttons on the internet, it's not calling Bitcoin Cash Bcash. It's claiming that I said Mt. Gox was solvent, because that's an absolute lie. And I was very careful when I chose my words for that. I made absolutely no assertion whatsoever as to Mt. Gox being solvent or not, because I had no idea.
So I think because there's been such a huge
I see it
propaganda
daily
war.
on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, I see it on Reddit all the time. But there was such a real big push to kind of somehow tie you to Mt. Gox, almost to label you somehow a bad character, it seems. Like, what was your actual involvement in Mt. Gox?
Nothing. I lived nearby and I was a customer. So, and I was really well known in the Bitcoin space. And
It's down the road.
yeah, it was literally like 300 meters from where I lived. It was so close.
So I think it's pretty clear that, you know, Japan has made a decision here. I think it's very beneficial for Mark.
Here's the next headline, though. This is accurate. Court found a total mess.
Yeah, there you
Says,
go.
according to the verdict, which Nakamura translated, the Tokyo District Court found that the way Karpeles ran Mt. Gox was a total mess, and that he tampered with records to hide the fact it was missing a lot of Bitcoin. He did not do it for personal gain or have ill intent. The court document also, I think that's about right. Like, it was a total mess, but Mark wasn't doing it for personal gain or ill intent. I think he just got in way over his head.
Now, Daniel Kelman, he's been working a lot with this.
He's followed it super closely for years.
Could you explain it? Explain like I'm five. Like, how's the money payouts going? Because I know that there was some found coins, and then there's some people that are getting some money back.
No. So I can explain it very simply. So like everybody that's mad that they haven't gotten their money back, you have one single person to be mad at for that. Peter Vicinis, the founder of CoinLab. He's blocking the entire distribution of all the funds with his lawsuit for $16 billion. So if you want people to get all their money back, or get as much money back that's left over from Mt. Gox, you should be pressuring Peter Vicinis to drop his lawsuit. Now, I own a stake in CoinLab, so like technically I'm entitled to a portion of that $16 billion, but like I don't want it. I think the customers of Mt. Gox should get their money back. So Peter, if you happen to see this, please drop your lawsuit. Like, it's just wasting everybody's time and everybody's money, and everybody's life should go on. So drop your lawsuit, move on, do something productive, and let people get their money back from Mt. Gox and move on. So the court in Tokyo goes on to say, we find the charge of electronic record tampering to be true and that it deserves punishment, but there's no criminal evidence regarding embezzlement, dominant or reserve type. I guess that's a Japanese translation to English, and don't know what that means, but or violations of company laws resulting in a not guilty ruling. So this is probably one of the only times ever, I would guess, in Japanese legal history in which like a high profile case like this, where the person was found not guilty. Like, I'd have to get some help Googling that sort of thing, because my bar level Japanese, like a drinking bar, not legal bar, but my at the restaurant Japanese is fine, but my legal Japanese is not up to the task of Googling that. But maybe Nakamura can help us out at some point. But it says Karpeles' promise. And have you read the article already?
No.
This is my first time too going through it. It says Karpeles' promise. After the news of the verdict broke, Karpeles has made only one tweet at the time of this writing. It was in response to Twitter user Emilien Dutang, founder of blockchainpartner.fr, reminding him of his earlier promise. On February 11th, Karpeles wrote, I hereby pledge any net proceeds I receive from Mt. Gox back to Mt. Gox creditors, not that I will be receiving anything anyway. And like, so that's a really nice sign from Mark there. The exact opposite of Peter Vicinis.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dutong reminded him on Friday, I hope you'll keep your words, to which the former Mt. Gox replied, will do.
Hats off to Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, like you screwed up on keeping track of everybody's funds. You can't change the past, but you can just work to make a better future. So thank you for helping try and get people's money back. And Mark, we'd like to see you publicly state, hey, Peter, drop your dumb lawsuit and let people get their money back.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to get your money back and you're a Mt. Gox creditor, I think it's at Vicinis on Twitter. So let Peter know that you want him to drop the lawsuit so you can get your money back. And you can also ask him what happened to the additional $5 million of Mt. Gox customer money. Where is that money? I emailed him about it a while ago, and he stopped replying to my emails. So,
not very neighborly.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if you like the video, share, subscribe.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you
think. If
think.
you want to blow off some steam from all this, head on over to cashgames.bitcoin.com. You can play for free, or you can play for real money, and it's all provably fair. So we're not going to Mt. Gox you. You can withdraw instantly at any time. Without problems. So maybe we can do an affiliate code, hashtag Mt. Gox for a free spin or something at some point. But anyhow, see you guys in the next video.
See you guys.
Bye.